Welcome back to another anime review coming your way. Today we're doing The Ancient Magus Bride. I'm Justin,
I'm Logan.
and together we're Couch Talk.
All right. So, like you
Episode
said,
2.
Ancient Magus's Bride, Episode 2.
Yes, and again, we have no earlier knowledge of this, alright? We're coming into this blind, this anime. No manga, no OVAs, no nothing like that. So,
Right.
let's... So our reviews are based on exactly what's been told to us in the show as a blind viewer.
Yes.
And how our reviews work is we go through the episode basically scene by scene, break it all down, talk about it, and then give our score at the end.
Right. So,
And
do you want to jump
typical
into
spiel.
it? Oh, yeah. Go. Do the spiel.
Like, comment, subscribe, give us feedback, anything like that. It all helps. We've been appreciating the support lately. It's been very nice.
It has been
Now-
super nice. We got enough, few subscribers. I'm like, hell yeah.
Exactly. So we're gonna go ahead and jump straight into this now. Episode 2 begins. Oops, I had the volume up and it's blasting in my ears. Begins with the opening theme song. Again, we talked about this last week. It's probably my favorite opening song of the season right now, of the fall season.
I agree. It's just very catchy, it seems. I just noticed I forgot to load the episode before this, so it's loading right now.
Don't worry, man. I'll take it over. So the very beginning is just more of her before she was sold off in episode 1.
Oh yeah.
Just, she doesn't really care. She's gonna live, die, who she's sold to. Eventually, she's still in this super depressed state.
Right, this was before. Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if she was like dreaming before then or just thinking about it, it seemed.
Yeah, because it does haze back, so to her laying in bed. So, yeah, I guess she was just reminiscing of her past, and I think this is what we get. One today is worth two tomorrows. I believe that's the title of the episode.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like that phrase a lot. It has a lot of meaning.
One
Basically,
today is worth two tomorrows. Yeah. Live in the moment, is that what it means?
yeah, basically just live in the present. Like, especially, I guess for her, it kind of probably means more just because she's at this point where she doesn't care what's going to happen tomorrow or in the past or whatever, but she knows what's going on at the moment.
Right. So then she wakes up, goes and has a chit chat in the kitchen. She was asleep for 2 days, I guess. I just wanted to ask, we learn about the maid? Or,
Yes.
well, Elias calls her more like a landlady.
Well,
That she was
he
a
says
fairy.
She's a neighbor that lives with him.
Yes.
At that point, that's not a neighbor. That's
Well, I
the
think-
roommate. But she is a fairy, is what he said. Yes.
Yeah, so she's a fairy who does basically everything. I get just a strange vibe from her for some reason.
And we do get her name now. It's Silky.
Silky. I think the reason I have a strange vibe is because she doesn't talk.
She's
I-
like, I think he said something in the first episode about dolls, and that's almost what she comes off as a doll.
It's just, I don't know, it just seems a bit strange to me. I don't know. It's a minor complaint.
Yeah, so she does basically all the house chores for him. And she's a fairy, so not like the other fairies we've seen and stuff, so I guess I don't really know what quite defines a fairy yet in this world from what we've been given.
Right. Because
Because
the things we thought were fairies were called something else.
yeah. So I think there's just a lot of different forms they can get because even the ones that are a different form are the same form that are summoned later in this episode but are still called fairies.
Right. And then Elias continues to push the marriage. He's like, hey, should we plan our honeymoon? Like after she's eating. I'm like, dude,
Yes.
chill. It just seems
He,
he's coming.
he
I
he
don't
is
know.
pushing it.
He seems
Uh,
pushy.
he is a little bit at this point, a little bit. It's just, but again, I think he can push her into it just because I don't know. She doesn't care about any decisions right now. She's just living her day, going about life like whatever. Uh, we do get, I think, a little bit more emotion from Chisei in this episode,
Yeah,
here and
she
there.
she seems like she's bottled up, like all her emotions. She's like keeping to herself. But like I feel like as as the show goes on, she's gonna slowly open up and show more expressiveness and stuff, which I really like to see that development.
Yeah,
I do like Chisei. She's like, well, I feel bad for her past, obviously, but I
yeah,
like how
she's
she's
growing
like,
on me.
she's slowly just living life, I guess. And you
Yeah,
like,
and she's starting to like think more about what's going on around her too. She's
yeah,
sitting here while they're eating breakfast, wondering about Elias. Like she doesn't understand. She says, "I don't understand him," but he doesn't seem like a bad person. So
yeah,
uh,
that's what he wants you to think.
yeah, exactly. Like in the beginning, you know, how she's saying she didn't care really who she was sold off to, but now that she's kind of living here, she's kind of glad it was him that bought him or
Right.
bought her. Uh, so she is starting to actually start caring about herself a little bit.
Yeah. And then we go to a city. I don't
Yes,
think
and
it
this is
says the
where,
city.
yeah, I don't really, it is a city, but this is where we pick up a little bit more about the world itself too, because Elias uses magic to make him look human.
Yes. That's
And
what I
in
was
the
gonna
last
say.
episode, we were trying to talk about if people could see his skull face or not.
Right. So I think they
And I,
can see it,
yes,
but well, if he's not human form Elias. So I don't know. I don't know what's with his original face. I feel like they might go into that eventually. Like, why does he have? Because there's not another character we've seen yet who even is close to resembling that.
yeah, not at all. I think that's what kind of makes him special. We see all the people, you know, they were kind of like scared of him in the first episode or whatever. So there might be some importance to that. And as
Right.
someone, well, I think the comment was from Leslie something Cruz. She's told us that it is a dog wolf head with goat
Yes.
horns.
It's a like
So
a dog skull, but with
I
goat
was
horns.
confused. I was like, hmm, that don't look like goat horns I know. But I looked up. It is a macaw goat. Is what those are the ones that grow
You did
those exact
research
same
on the
horns.
goat
Yes, yes, I did.
quality. But
And
then
I
we
still,
get. Go ahead.
oh, he looks like Trapinch when he does his little puppy face. I will always see Trapinch.
But then we get a new character,
Yes,
which I really liked how they did this. Not only did they introduce a new character, they had the main character interact with the new character, but they also developed the world we're in.
yes. So there's more. There is magic, but it seems like she said, it's kind of like dying, I guess.
Yes. So
Um,
we get Angelica, who's the new
yes,
character.
Angelica.
She sends off Elias, and then she talks to Chisei about magic versus sorcery. And like you said, magic. She said she's one of the last of her kind, like a mage. That is like using magic. And I did like the description on what's the difference between magic and sorcery. So sorcery is basically learning about science and then bending those rules of science. And then magic, well, she said it's basically like miracles. Like
Yeah.
they just they like bend reality. Like it just happens. And they
So
use what she said. They use those animal things, those like animal like creatures, like enhance their magic or something.
yeah, like the fairies and everything. And those crystals. I would also like to point out, like, right before we get into that, Elias and Angelica have a great interaction that kind of shows Elias isn't this, like, serious, like, hardcore type. You know, we knew he was a little goofy, but we realized he's just kind of he's starting to come off to me as like he actually is a good guy, especially between that interaction between him and Angelica, where they're like kind of just messing around and joking with each other.
Yeah, I actually have the opposite to say later in the episode. Oh, coming up. But I do see like he's not as like serious as he was first portrayed, because he's like very goofy with Angelica and like messes around.
So he is someone that can have like a good time and stuff.
Yeah.
And all right, so basically back to the magic though. She lets Chisei try it for the first time. And this is where it kind of gets really interesting.
Yes.
Because it goes a flashback to her mother, which we know she didn't really get along with her mother
we
at
saw
first from the first episode.
I can't remember this where the flashback was, but there was a small flashback where her mother said, like, "Why did I give birth to you?" or something.
Yes.
I can't remember where that was, but I do remember that standing out. But this flashback, it shows her mother kind of being nice and them having
I think this was early enough before the changes started happening.
Right.
With Chisei. So she was trying to show her a garden and how beautiful the world is and stuff. And we also get a little glimpse of where it kind of jumps forward in her flashback of her mother killing herself, I believe is what happened.
I have a small theory why. I think since Chisei is a sleigh beggy, she kind of attracts those animal things, those like magical animals. Like she has one that follows her around, that like lizard looking thing.
Yeah, that was
and then in the first episode,
there's a lot of terms like fairies. It's just I don't know if they refer to most things as just fairies.
I don't even know what to call them. I just call them magical animals. But I have a feeling when she was younger, she attracted some. But then how Elias told us in episode 1, some bring you fortune, but some can bring you misfortune. I think she, like, indirectly, like, not on purpose, brought bad ones to, like, her mother or, like, where they were living.
That would make a lot of sense.
And I feel like her mother grew resentment.
Or,
her.
Like, they just kept having bad luck, and she was able to see things, and then, her mother was like, I just can't live like this anymore.
Right. That's just a theory. I guess on what we know. But after she imagined her and her mother, basically, she had to imagine a flower into the crystal.
And this is where we kind of see she's probably really powerful.
Yeah, she doesn't... Because earlier, Angelica's daughter came in with the same crystal and had a tiny looking like flower thing. But when Chisei does it, she makes like a garden.
She does. She imagined more than a flower. She imagined a garden. And I think that's what happened. She started forming this garden, and instantly, Angelica was like, "Who is this? Like, what is she?"
Okay, this is where my suspicion of Elias grew a tiny bit, because he came up and stopped her, and then when they cut to Angelica, she looks like super serious / pissed. Like,
yeah, she's like, what is she?
What are you, like, who is this? Why do you have her? And they kind of played it off, but something just felt a bit different with Elias here.
Yes, I feel like there's more to her than just being a sleigh beggy. Or there's a lot more importance to that term than they've defined.
This is what I'm still suspicious of Elias. I can't... He is acting more, like, friendly, but, like, when certain things happen, I'm like, that's not normal, it seems. Because the way he appeared there, like, so fast, he's not even in human form anymore, and Angelica looks like she's, like, super concerned. I'm like, is he hiding something? Like, his true intentions of having her? Like, maybe that Angelica doesn't even know? Like, I don't know. I just have suspicions on him. I'm keeping my eye out.
Yeah, and they have kind of like, hold on. I think it's they have like a little. She kind of leaves the room and they have a private conversation a bit. I don't think.
Yeah, this was a bit weird too. They send her off, and
You
Angelica
don't really
was,
get to see what they.
we saw like the first line. It's like,
Yeah,
I'm
she's
charging you
him
extra.
Yeah, so we don't know what else they would have talked about there because I think he whispered her something and they didn't subtitle at all.
Right. Like, please don't tell anyone. I have a. Well, no, people would know that because she was announced as a slave beggy at the auction.
Yeah, we know that, and I don't think, and we know she can see stuff, so that's also why she was super popular. But I feel like there's just so much more to
I
her
feel
that's
there's
not
a
defined
key
yet.
missing piece that we don't know yet. But
And then,
I really liked Angelica as a character.
oh yeah, Angelica was great. I
thought
do
she
love
was
the characters in this show.
So do I. I liked her design. I liked her personality, and like, see, I really liked how they introduced a character while describing the world we were in. It felt like killing multiple birds with one stone. Even like developing Chise a bit, like having her open,
Yeah.
like talk to someone else that isn't Elias or, well, that's pretty much all she talks to.
Yeah, exactly. But we get them going back home, and this is where you just kind of Elias just bluntly asks her about her parents. And
Yeah.
we learn more about, we don't know anything about her father. She doesn't know anything really about her father. And this is where where she says how her mother died in front of her committing suicide. I mean, they didn't say suicide, but obviously that 100% assumed and inferred.
Yeah. Well, unless she was like murdered in front of her or something. But
I guess that's plausible. But it looked like she jumped.
yeah, I
In
felt,
that flashback.
man, that is messed up. That is so. Chise has had
Then
a
we
rough
get-
life.
Yeah, she has. Well, this is where we get introduced to another character is when they get back home, Simon. And he also brings more about the world in his introduction.
Yes.
Because he's from like a church, but that church has like, it's a strong organization, it seems like, because it looks like they're trying to keep Elias in lock or something like that. Because he's like, I'm not going to be part of your organization. Is like, how many centuries is it going to take for them to realize that? So obviously, he's obviously got to be super old.
Yeah, that
Last episode,
that was
we were
actually a
debating
big moment. Like, Ainsworth or Elias, that tells me he's really old. If he asks how many centuries, like, because he didn't really say it in a joking manner. He's like, how many centuries until they get off my back, basically.
Yes.
So, like, the age of him is unknown. And it seems to be past human years, how long he can live.
So we get a little more of the world in here. Some good interaction between Silky and Chise some more. Just them bonding. It looks like she is capable of bonding. So like, I wasn't sure about what Silky was capable of emotion-wise.
Yeah.
But here we see she's actually kind of protective of Chise.
That's what yeah, how she like put her arms around her. I
Like
don't
maybe-
know why I have so many suspicions about.
And I also get some more suspicions here from Elias because he's wearing, I don't know why he's wearing the red cloth over his face.
I don't either.
He's inside. Simon clearly knows who he is.
Yeah.
Is he like
it's-
trying to hide his expression during this conversation with him?
Well, I don't,
like-
because I don't even know if the thing expresses really his skull.
Yeah. Besides when he's doing his little trap inch face. And-
I don't know. Like, I just have quite a bit of suspicions, just all around.
Yeah, especially when he's like debating whether to, or he had a report, like Simon talks about reporting to the brass. So obviously there's some kind of hierarchy here.
Yeah. And then
it's
he
just
gives him these three.
3 tasks.
Yeah.
and they're and he kind of explains, the importance of magic and stuff, especially when it comes to medicine.
Yeah,
So
that was
medicine heavily relies on magic in this world. So more bits that just keep coming out about the world during each character interaction, which is what I like a lot.
yeah. So do I. I like how they introduce characters while explaining world stuff. And then this next scene kind of felt, in my opinion, it kind of felt not forced, but like they kind of just wanted to put it in there as a cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying, because they went to go to Iceland for his first task,
Yes.
which is to check on the dragons.
Right.
And I felt like it was going fine. It just happens he's like helping her down on a ledge, and then like in the middle of that, it cuts to her out on a cliff.
Yeah, like out on the edge of the cliff.
Like not even close to him anymore.
And she gets snatched
Like
by
I think it's just the camera scene looks weird, like because it makes it look like she's super far from him all of a sudden, even though she's actually still just right above him, and it looks like they got separated before it. Like I feel like that's the only issue, but I'm fine with her being like kidnapped right here at the end as like a cliffhanger. I don't have an issue with that. I just feel like the camera work kind of made it look off.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt if they would have ended it right after Silky left, or Simon left, it would have been fine. But it's not a huge deal. Like, I'm not like, wow, you ruined the episode. I was like,
See, like I'm on the opposite opinion of that, because I felt like that conflict at the end is making me want to see more for our next episode than if there was nothing. That actually piqued my interest probably more than anything so far in this episode. Like, that made me want to continue going on. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, I know what you're saying. Well, yeah, I think that was what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, so for me, I thought it looked fine. I think the camera work could have been a little different, but other than that, I thought it was fine.
I don't even think we mentioned what happened, but she got snatched by a goddamn dragon.
Yeah, she did. She got kidnapped by a dragon, and he's taken her. We got a dragon rider. He's taken her to the last land of the dragons.
Yeah, we have no idea who this guy is. Some new character. He obviously knows about her and how she's Elias's apprentice. So
I feel like word would spread. It's like, hey, Elias just bought someone for £5 million or whatever it was.
I'm guessing he captured. I'm guessing he captured her because she's a slave beggy. That's got to be the reason, right?
I don't know. I feel like...
Why else would you capture someone's apprentice?
I think the other thing is this Elias himself, because we obviously get people are kind of scared of him. They feel like he's this powerful. And if they're like, oh, he feels this person is like super important to him, like maybe people don't like him, want to get back at him. Okay. So there's also that, I think, kind of lingering there.
So she was either captured because she was a slave beggy or because someone wanted to get back at Elias for some reason.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Or both. It could be both.
Yeah, or both, yeah. Or if they're like, oh, if Elias sees something in this person, there's got to be something super even more
because he does seem to hold a high status, like a high social status. But that's the end.
That's it for this episode. Again, yeah, it goes ending theme song. Ending theme song's great. So, yeah, I guess that goes to our scores. Do you want to give your score first?
Sure. I'll give it an 8. So I thought it was pretty good, enjoyable. It developed more like setting. It introduced some pretty neat characters. I mean, the ending felt kind of just put there on purpose, but it's not a big deal. I guess it just felt different from the rest of the episode. I guess that's what I'm saying. But it seriously wasn't a big deal. Yeah, I like Angelica a lot. I think she's funny and just cool shit. But I have suspicions about Elias that will not go away. I feel like he's I feel like he's up to something that's not good. I don't know why. He just comes off as not trust. It's probably the goddamn skull, skull and horns.
Like what kind of good guy has a skull? Okay,
Exactly.
Like, honestly, gives you those vibes. I'm also gonna give it an 8.
Oh,
I
that's
was
2 in a
thinking about
row.
it. It is.
That's
I
2
was
reviews in a row.
I was actually sitting at like the 7.5 until, but the ending I kind of actually liked a lot. So different reasons getting us to that 8. But I love the character interactions in this episode so much. We got more emotion out of Chise. It looks like she's gonna start kind of coming out. We learned a little bit more about Sylvie and Angelica. Yeah, as I agree, is great. And I loved how they just brought more about the world in between with each interaction.
Yeah.
So that's basically why I'm getting to my 8, because the characters themselves. Characters to me are always one of the most important things in a show.
Do you have any predictions? Like maybe what's going to happen to Chise or what's going to happen with this dragon issue?
Well, we already know Elias was going there to check on the dragons. So, because they were having more movement, I feel like this guy might be behind the movement of the dragons.
Probably.
And I don't know, maybe there's some beef between him and Elias, because I'm going to stick with he's not stealing Chise because she's a slave baggy, but I feel like he's doing it because of Elias himself.
Okay.
So I'm expecting there to be conflict around that. You got any predictions?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think she's being stolen because she's a slave baggy. I think Elias is gonna resolve this issue rather quickly. Because I mean, why would you go take your apprentice with a bunch of dragons if you didn't know how to deal with them? So I don't think it's gonna be a huge point. Maybe this guy will.
Here's the other twist. It's a practical prank against Elias.
Oh, just
it's
a
a
prank.
Practical joke.
Maybe it's a prank from Elias on Chise. Just like, oh, JK. Oh. I also feel like Chise and what's her name? Sylvie?
Sylvie.
Or
Silky.
Silky? I think it's Silky.
I think it is Silky. I'm pretty sure I said
I feel like they're going to bond.
And then as I go on, I always forget. Yeah, it is Silky.
Okay. I feel like they're going to bond. You know what? I'm going to throw another twist to that. I feel like they're going to bond and Silky's going to say something like, you can't trust him. Like drop
You think she's actually going to talk?
Yeah, I do. Because I don't know. It just feels weird how she is emotionless near Elias, but she kind of opens up a bit towards Chise. I don't know.
That is true.
And why would he have just one fairy there that's different? Or maybe she can't talk because he did something. I don't trust this man.
Or maybe she's indebted to him.
That's true. I really like it. It's a beautiful world that they opened up, and that's why it's so enjoyable.
Yeah, so that does it for this episode. Again, guys, leave feedback, comment what you agree, disagree with, or what you thought about the episode. No spoilers, especially from those who have seen or read the manga. We have not.
Yeah, please no spoilers.
So when it comes to our theories, you can do not deny or confirm.
Yeah.
So
don't even be like you're kind of close. Don't say. Just be like, interesting theory. That's what you can say.
Yeah, but or throw your own theories in there if you're also coming into this blind.
Yeah.
Because, man, this show is actually I'm really enjoying it.
It's probably my favorite of the season that I'm watching. It is my favorite of the season. I'll say that right now.
I'm trying to think. I think I'm watching just one more than you are. I don't know if it's at my top yet. It's up there. It's definitely in the top 2. But yeah, so I hope you guys also are enjoying these reviews in the anime. So, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, peace out.
See ya.